Hi guys, once again this is Kelvin and I'm at Tabletop Singapore. So today we are going to look into how do you actually play the game Flesh and Blood. Alright, so Flesh and Blood is a one-on-one hero combat game, and here is how a typical game setup is like. The objective of the game is simple, which is to get your opponent's hero life point to 0. And this is where you can find the life point on the right bottom corner of your hero's card. On the hero card, you will also see the hero's name, its ability, its class, and its intellect. So the intellect is basically your hand size. Next, we will look at the weapon card which your hero will be carrying. You will see the weapon's name at the top, its activation cost, and other effects, as well as the base damage it will deal to an opposing hero. Other than the hero and weapon card, there are also other card types in the game, which are action attack cards, action cards, attack reaction cards, equipment, action item cards, instant cards, as well as defense reaction cards. So one exciting part of the game is actually the different equipments which your hero can equip. They come in different rarities, which some gives you one-time activation abilities, while others you can actually activate multiple times throughout the game. Now, let's look at the different parts of a typical card. Here you have the name, the card's ability, the amount of resources you can get by pitching the card, the cost or amount of resources needed to play the card, the base damage of the card if it's a action attack card, and of course lastly, the amount of damage points the card may be used to defend against an opponent's attack. Another thing to note is that for most cards, there are actually different variations of it. The card differs in its pitch value, which is also demarcated on the colored bar on top of the card. As you can see, the amount of pitch value increases. The general power level of the card actually decreases. In this case, you can see that the amount of damage you will deal actually decreases as the amount of pitch value went up. Whereas in other cards you may see a difference in its card effect. Alright, so now let's look at a typical example of a quick game. So at the start of the game, both players will draw cards equals to their hero's intellect. So in this case, for Ira, you are drawing to 4. Now, we are ready to begin our attack. During a turn, you may choose to use the weapon to attack or play cards from your hand. Do know that you are only given one action point to perform an action each turn. So unless the action you are performing has the keyword go again, which essentially gains you another action point, your turn typically just ends there. Okay, so we will first pitch a Springboard Somersault card for 2 resources, and we use one of it to attack with our Age of Autumn, which has to go again. So assuming that the opponent isn't blocking, we will close our first attack and move to our second attack on the combat chain. We shall now pitch a Time Snap Potion, which adds 3 resources to our balance of 1 resource. So now we have 4 resources, and we shall play a Wounded Bull action attack card. As it is the second attack this turn, Ira's ability will be applied to the attack, and it will deal 8 damage instead of 7. Do note that resources only disappear at the end of turns. Now, we shall see how the opponent will block. When blocking, you can use a mix of equipment and cards from your hand to block. So in this case, the opponent is actually using his copy of Iron Rod Plate and a Slogism action card to block for a total of 3 damage. Moving to the reaction phase, this is where action and defense reaction cards are being played. As we are doing good damage, we shall not play an attack reaction cards, and we pass the priority to our opponent. So our opponent is actually playing a Springboard Somersault defense reaction from his arsenal. thus activating the additional effect of +2 defense, as you can see from the card. So in total, he is now blocking for 7 damage. Okay, so let's assume that our opponent now has only 2 life points left, which means pushing an additional damage through will be lethal. So in response, we shall play our lunging press attack reaction card. Now we shall resolve the damage. So in total, we are attacking for 9 damage, while the opponent is actually only blocking for 7. Thus, the opposing hero will be taking 2 damage. So after this, we will move into the cleanup phase. All cards played from hand will go into the graveyard. Weapons back to the weapon zone, and equipment, if destroyed at the end of combat, shall be placed into the graveyard as well. Next, we will move all cards in the pitch zone to the bottom of our deck. If you have cards which you would like to keep for future use, you may put one of them face down into the arsenal zone. Do note that you cannot pitch or use cards in the arsenal to block. But in the case of defense reaction card, it is considered playing and not the special action of blocking. So you can actually play from your arsenal. So lastly, the active player will draw to the hero's intellect before ending the turn. So what's next? I will recommend you to drop by your nearest local game store which carries Flesh and Blood TCG and acquire one of these welcome decks. Or better still, to join a hosted welcome event to physically try out the game for even richer experience. Now, let us look at what's inside a welcome deck. So inside you will find a quick reference guide which actually tell you all the different parts of a card, the parts of a turn, and at the back there's actually a quick view of the setup that for your gameplay. So as you can see, the welcome deck is well equipped with a good mix of cards for you to jumpstart your Flesh and Blood journey. Do drop by your local game store, which I'm sure they will be able to help you to enhance the welcome deck, and from there to join in a weekly armory event. Alright, thanks guys for watching, and for more TCG related videos, click here for more and click here to subscribe.